What's going on, guys? I'm Andrew, and this is Movie Source. Today we're going to be going over 41 Easter eggs, references, and trivia from the 1984 film Ghostbusters. We're also going to be doing a review for the film, as well as a review and Easter egg video for the 1989 sequel Ghostbusters II, to get you ready for Ghostbusters Afterlife. Hit the subscribe button and notifications button so you don't miss out on any of our videos. Alright, starting off. The slime used on the drawers in the opening library scene is actually methyl xylose. It's a Chinese food starch. The special effect for an early part in the film, where the catalog drawers open and the cards flying out, was created by prop workers hidden behind a stage setting made to look like part of the library. The drawers were pushed open from the back, and the cards were blown out via copper piping. Dana Barrett tells Venkman he doesn't seem like a scientist. You're more like a game show host. In Ghostbusters II, Peter Venkman becomes a talk show host. The pinball machine in the Ghostbusters firehouse is Stern's 1980s title Stargazer. Scenes in the montage of the Ghostbusters running and driving the Ectomobile around New York were done on the first day, largely without any film permits. In one scene, someone who looks like a security guard begins chasing them, and Dan Aykroyd is driving the Ectomobile. The terror dogs that come to life were actual statue designs on an old church in Philadelphia. When Louis Tully mingles with his party guests, commenting on the price of salmon and so on, the scene is one continuous shot and almost entirely improvised. The tall woman dancing with Louis at the party was played by Jean Kasem, Casey Kasem's wife. When Peter knocks on Dana's door for their date, he taps out the theme from the film The Terminator, which came out the same year, 1984. Sigourney Weaver floating is an actual physical effect. She was put in a full-body cast and attached to a post hidden in the curtains. According to the DVD commentary, the effect came from Ivan Reitman's Broadway experience. The demonic voice of Zuul was performed by director Ivan Reitman. Patty Edwards provided the voice of Gozer'S. Ron Jeremy is an extra behind the barricade on the left when Ray and Winston drive up in the Ecto-1 after the containment unit explodes. The jail scene was filmed in a prison reported to be haunted, and the dailies had scratches all over with no apparent physical cause. Ivan Reitman was concerned about returning there, and the crew was very relieved to find enough footage to complete the scene without returning. In rehearsal, Bill Murray teased Yugoslav model Slativa Jovan about her pronunciation of the line, "choose and perish." It sounded like Jews and berries to him, and he'd say to her, "There are no Jews and berries here." After the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is destroyed, and Walter Peck is deluged by a huge amount of marshmallow goo, his next line is garbled due to the marshmallow, and many viewers don't realize that Peck is screaming, "I hate you, Venkman." A cutscene included on the DVD took place a few moments before at the same angle, where Peck tells the police to go up to the roof and arrest the Ghostbusters. Almost none of the scenes in the film were as scripted. Most had at least one ad-lib. Most of Bill Murray's lines were also ad-libbed. In the middle of the film's initial release, to keep interest going, Ivan Reitman ran a trailer that was basically the commercial the Ghostbusters used in the movie, but the 555 number was replaced with a 1-800 number, allowing people to actually call in. Callers got a recorded message of Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd saying something to the effect of, "Hi, we're out catching ghosts right now." They got 1,000 calls per day, 24 hours a day for 6 weeks. Harold Ramis only intended to write the film. He decided to play Dr. Egon Spengler after he felt he was the best person suited for the role. The character of Winston was meant to have joined the team much earlier in the film and would have been slimed at the hotel. When Eddie Murphy declined the role, the script was rewritten to have Winston appear about halfway through the film. On the set, Dan Aykroyd referred to the Slimer ghost as the ghost of John Belushi. Slimer's glutinous eating was based on Belushi's cafeteria scene in National Lampoon's Animal House. According to an interview with Mix Magazine Online, Ray Parker Jr. tried to create a song for the movie for 2 days. At 4:30 a.m., he saw a commercial for a drain company that reminded him of a scene from the film. That commercial helped him coin the popular line, "Who you gonna call?" After Harold Ramis passed away, fans of the movie paid tribute to him by visiting the New York City firehouse used in the exterior shots and creating a makeshift memorial featuring Nestle's Crunch Bars, in reference to Venkman giving Spengler a candy bar, and Twinkies in reference to Spengler using the Twinkie to describe the ghost problem in New York City. The lively chorus shouting Ghostbusters during the film's theme song consisted of Ray Parker Jr.'s girlfriend and her friends. The only people Parker could find quickly enough to meet his deadline. In a 2015 interview, he said that he got the idea when his son shouted Ghostbusters. Fun fact, I actually went to high school with one of Ray's sons, Redmond Parker. This was the highest grossing comedy of all time until the 1990 comedy came out, Home Alone. Gozer was originally going to be played by Paul Reubens, who turned down the role. In the original script, Gozer took on the form of Ivo Shandor, the Ghost Building's architect who started the original Gozer cult, who resembled a pale, slender, unremarkable man in a business suit. Gozer's final form was described as David Bowie meets Grace Jones. Ivo Shandor ultimately made his appearance in Ghostbusters, the video game, in 2009. After this film, William Atherton became absolutely reviled. People would try to fight him in bars. One day shortly after the film's release, Atherton was walking down a stretch of 7th Avenue in New York City, entirely crowded with school buses, when he heard lots of children shouting at the top of their lungs to him saying, "Hey, Dickless." Michael Keaton turned down both the roles of Dr. Peter Venkman and Dr. Egon Spengler. The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man suit cost approximately $20,000 each. 3 were made, and all were destroyed during filming. Gozer was also a name related to a documented haunting in England. The name Gozer appeared mysteriously throughout the house, written on walls and other things. The role of Peter Venkman was originally written for John Belushi. He died as Dan Aykroyd was writing the script. Harold Ramis made a choice to never smile as Egon throughout the film, although he does in the sequel, Ghostbusters II. The Ectomobile was originally going to be painted black, until it was pointed out that most driving would be at night and the car would be difficult to see. The firehouse set that the Ghostbusters used as their headquarters was used as the mechanic shop in the 1994 Jim Carrey comedy, The Mask. Bill Murray agreed to do this movie only if Columbia financed a remake of The Razor's Edge, with him as the star. The remake was made and released the same year as this film, 1984. When Alice the librarian is asked whether anyone in her family had ever had any history of mental illness, she says she had an uncle who thought he was the Saint Jerome, the patron saint of librarians. Dan Aykroyd described Mr. Stay Puft as a cross between the Michelin Man and the Pillsbury Doughboy. He wanted to create a fictional brand mascot that everyone would have grown up with. The eggs that fry themselves are sitting next to a package of Stay Puft marshmallows. A large advertisement for Stay Puft marshmallows, complete with the Marshmallow Man, is visible on the side of the building when the ghosts are freed during the magic montage. This was CNN host Larry King's film debut. When interviewing Alice the librarian, Peter asks if she is currently menstruating. The shocked head librarian asks, "What does this have to do with anything?" and Peter replies, "Back off, man, I'm a scientist." In parapsychology, there is some correlation between menstrual cycles and latent telekinetic powers. From a psychological standpoint, Alice may have been going through menopause, which in very rare cases can cause psychotic breaks or blackouts. Peter was trying to determine if Alice might have actually caused the disturbance herself, either physically or through psychic powers. Jay Leno actually read for the part of Louis Tully. Despite joining the team just over 40 minutes into the film, Winston Zeddemore is not seen on screen using a proton pack until the final act of the film. Let us know in the comments section if we missed out on any Easter eggs, references, or trivia, and also please let us know which one we went over that was your favorite. If you enjoyed this video, we'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button. We will be posting our review of this film soon, as well as our review of Ghostbusters 2 and an Easter eggs video for Ghostbusters 2 as well to get you ready for Ghostbusters Afterlife. Until then, see you guys next time.